You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on, you foxes!
Back of the net.
You're watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform
Or ask your smart speaker
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Right, Chris.
All right there. All right, they're back. Good evening. How the devil are you? Say hello to Dave, my little devilish friend there. Hope you are all well. It's back. Proper football is at last back. Get rid of that stupid bloody World Cup qualifier where we play out of Mongolia, and if we don't beat them 5-0, then we're being rubbish. Honestly, let's get the Premier League back. And it is back this Saturday, and it's all changed. We've got a new player on the block, and we've got a Liverpool fan joining us tonight. So we're going to ask him whether he's worried about Newcastle. As I think that's going to be more the sort of teams that they're after. But it is Leicester Till I Die TV. It's the prediction show. You can watch us live now on Twitter at LeicesterTID, Facebook Leicester Till I Die the group, and YouTube Leicester Till I Die TV. If you're not on YouTube, please nip over there. You can tweak all my buttons, subscribe, and all the rest, and I will love you forever. And if you want to listen to us rather than watch us later on, catch up you can do on the Leicester Till I Die podcast on Amazon, Apple iTunes, Google, Anchor, Spotify, Podcast Addict. Got it right this week. And if you've got a smart, I get the hard one right, and then I can't say smart. And, if you've got a smart speaker, just ask yours to play, and you have to say it in full. The podcast Leicester Till I Die, and it will play it for you. Oh, this new set of teeth, it's not working well. James, good evening, sir. Thanks for joining us. How the devil are you? I hope you are well. Let's bring my co-host in, and he's probably really happy with himself because he's top of this league at the moment. Bradders, how the devil are you, sir?
I'm not too bad, mate. Yeah, it's only since I have a feeling of being on the top at the moment, so I'll enjoy it. I'm hoping to have it this week.
Do you remember those days being on top? And then I got divorced, so it was never going to happen again. Terry, good evening. Got my paper and pen ready to pinch your ideas for the long ball. Any pinching, Terry, and we'll get Brad's cuckoo clock to drive your dog mad. Are we worried about Newcastle?
No, not really. Not right now. There's nothing they can do right now, is there? There's still a bunch of Championship standard players, and that's Newcastle fans saying that. I'm not taking offence to it, but they are a Championship struggling side in the Premiership. They're not. I mean, look, the papers have got free sale for the next 3 months, easy. Probably for the rest of their lives with Newcastle now on. They've got themselves another Man City to write about. But I mean, Kane, Sterling. Look, we know they can afford them, but. Even Man City wasn't built in a season, was it? You know what I mean? They're going to have to make the same process, and they seem to know that. I'm not worried about them this season.
Talking of Championship standard players, let's say good evening to the Liverpool fan. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. I've been kind of laughing I was laughing in the green room there.
Hey, I tell you what, are you worried at all? Newcastle coming for you.
Look, I think you have to say they've had 14 years of Mike Ashley. Let them have their dues. I think they deserve new, fresh investment. Yes, obviously, I know it's a bit controversial, obviously, the Saudis, but Amanda Staveley clearly knows what she's doing. So, yeah, best of luck to them. But as Brad says, they can't do anything until January. Hello, James.
Yep. No, they can't. They can't. Let's just bring that on. By which time, hopefully, we're all doing a lot better than we are at the moment. Well, certainly for Leicester, anyway. Pleased with Liverpool's season so far?
Yeah, it's probably gone as better, I think, than we could have expected at the moment. A point off the top. I think we're a bit lucky against Manchester City. That first half performance was not great. But second half, they came back out. And yeah, I think going well in the Champions League, going well in the league, it's been a very, very good start. And I'm hoping that this international break hasn't derailed our form. So we'll see.
We needed the international break, didn't we, Brad? We can't say we're very pleased with our start.
God, where do you start with our start? It's just been one thing after another with Leicester, and they can't even get away with the internationals, can they? Indeed, he injures himself in the last match before break. Then there's talks that Iniacho has got injured playing for Nigeria. Can we just write this season off?
Oh, no.
Can we send in our mother's note? And, sit note.
To be totally honest with you, it's almost like somebody up there is saying, look, Leicester, you outperformed for the last 2 seasons. Just remember who you are. Slap down, get back down to where you belong.
Yeah, can we have that by just finishing in Europa Conference then? That could be a naughty step for us. Don't have us in a 14th battling, staring over our shoulders at Burnley and Norwich. This is fucking annoying. It's only going to get
mate. At this rate, we're not going to finish third in the Europa League group to drop into the conference. I think we'll finish fourth and drop out altogether. But look, sometimes you have to have a reality check season, don't you? And I think maybe that's it. We've had 2 seasons when let's be honest with you, we have performed better than we should have. I mean, we were in the top 4 for ages. We'd have probably got through if Liverpool hadn't had a good end to the season last season. But Doug, you
apologies for that.
Yeah, I think you should as well, definitely. But no, you look at Leicester, don't you, Doug? And do you think we were punching above our weight, and maybe it's a season that will sort of just remind us, and maybe we need it?
Yeah, look, I think you have to say that the FA Cup win was absolutely fantastic, and yes, you did kind of pile above your weight, but the thing is, Leicester play some very, very good football. And I just think that the last 2 seasons, I think they're suffering a little bit of burnout. It happened to us last season. We suffered burnout. Maybe it's happening to Leicester, but I still think you'll finish top 6, top 7, because Leicester always seem to finish in that position. So I'm still confident that you'll be top 10 at least.
Brad, playing very, very good football. Are we going to start that this season? Because at the moment, we couldn't pass wind, let alone a ball from one player to another.
No, I mean, right now, it's anything that could go is going wrong for Leicester. It's injuries, it's error passes, it's offsides, it's this, it's that. And, it comes in its loads either way, doesn't it? If it's all good, it's all coming to Leicester at once. We won the Premiership, we're making European nights, we're playing Atletico in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, we're in the Europa League, we're winning the FA Cup, we're winning the English Super Cup. Don't ask, that's Chris's terminology. I've just gave up fighting. No
charity shield on this show, have you
football, good and bad, comes in a lot of stock, because we only go back less than just over 20 years ago. Leicester were playing Yeovil, Scunthorpe, Northampton Town, Bristol Rovers in the depths of League One. Football's a funny old game, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it is. And my only worry is, and you alluded to this, Brad, before we came on, that, and I had to agree with you, Man United. We're actually worried and scared about Man United. And we probably wouldn't have been in the last 2 seasons. And the fact is, we haven't had the most difficult of starts, apart from Man City on paper. And I know football's not paid on paper, but there were teams that we should have been beating. I mean, Liverpool beat us every season anyway. They're probably going to, put 6 or 7 past us this season.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but no, look, I think obviously, I think we've got you. Was it like the Boxing Day or the 28th of
It's
December,
then, isn't it? Yes,
yeah. So it's around that Christmas period. So
I'm pretty sure.
obviously,
I'm pretty sure it's Boxing Day because when I saw the fixtures, I think I remember Liverpool. You beat us on Boxing Day when we won the league in that season, weren't it?
oh yeah, we did. Yeah, that was Christian Benteke that scored the winner that day.
Yeah, after we beat Everton to be top at Christmas.
No, it's actually the 28th at the King Power.
28th.
Yeah. Yes.
I think we got Leeds on Boxing Day. Actually, I think we got Leeds on Boxing Day. Then I think we've got you guys, and then I think it's Chelsea away.
All right.
Now, here's a question. Sorry, Chris. Just a quick one.
Yeah.
This is for both of you, by the way. They say these draws are done by the computer, right? They say these draws are randomised, they're done on the computer. I'm pretty sure this is like the 4th season in a row we've had Liverpool around end of October or start of November. We always seem to have you at the same time. I'm pretty sure we've done Man City and Liverpool 2 seasons in a row.
Can I just say, Brad, answering you on that, we've actually on Boxing Day, we're away to Man City.
Yeah, and we had them last year and the year before. This is 3 seasons in a row now. We have had Liverpool followed by Man City in one way or another.
I don't know why they can't. And this is a pet. You started me now, Brad. It's your fault. I wasn't. You started me off. You pushed me over that line. I think I'm going to say we're going to have, and it's not my fault. It's Brad's. We're going to have
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Right, Brad. It's a computer, right, that sets out all these fixtures. On Boxing Day, when there's no public transport, on the 28th, when there's limited public transport, why don't they give you local games? Why don't Liverpool? Why aren't Liverpool playing Everton on Boxing Day? And why aren't Leicester playing Villa? Or Southampton playing Brighton? It makes, to me, so much more sense than you having to travel down to Southampton on Boxing Day or something.
Because TV's a commercialised business, mate, and now it's not a sport anymore. It's a commercialised business. This could honestly go into a whole show.
But don't Amazon Prime get the Boxing Day fixtures and the 28th fixtures? I'm pretty sure I've heard something about that.
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they do. Yes.
Tradition. It's become warped into a tradition of this sport. It's like people that will, if they're allowed to, obviously, but the people that every single game, away or home, will go and follow England. It doesn't matter when it is, what it is, they religiously follow these teams. And it's the price it's like a punishment in a sense, because our owners, as everybody's, it's well documented, our owners do a great job at these time of years. I know for a fact from working there that they've offered free stuff and free travel. I think one year they actually paid for the Liverpool way travel. Might have been Liverpool, might have been Sunderland. Don't ask why I'm getting them too mixed up with clubs. But they've paid for travel, or I believe some away fans have even said they've had free food tokens given to them when they've travelled to the King Power. But they shouldn't have to put on the spectacle. As great and as honest and as humble as the jester is, for, like you said, Chris, for a game that's on Boxing Day, it's just something that somehow stumbled into footballing tradition. The day Boxing Day doesn't contain any boxing, to my knowledge.
I was just presuming then that, of course, the Premier League and people like that sort of had a thought for the fans. I mean, sorry, stupid of me, I know, stupid of me, but but there we go. But look, Nippon, good evening. How the devil are you, David? Good evening to you as well, sir. Welcome along. Right, let's get into the predictions. And I have to say,
sorry, lads, that set me off on a tangent when you brought that up there.
Well, you set me off on one, mate. You set me off on my rant. But
Brad, for 15 minutes and he started a domino effect.
Brad, you had a good week last week. You've come from behind. who misses, and you got a good 5 points. I managed to scrape by with 3, as did our weekly guest. So, as you can see there, Doug, you've got a little bit to catch up on for Brad, but you can easily overtake me this week, which, if you do, I'll go in and change all your predictions. So, hey, I don't hide the fact that I am absolutely more corrupt than FIFA, and I don't deny it. It is what it is. I'm afraid it's my channel. I win. Don't like it. Okay, we're going to start with you, Doug, because the first game of the weekend, BT early Saturday kickoff. You are making the trip to Watford, who not doing as good as they started. They've dropped down to 15th now with 7 points. Last 5 were 3 losses, 1 win, and a draw. It's an away banker for you, this, isn't it, Doug?
Well, you should say that, but the last time we played them, we lost 3-0. We lost 3-0 to them. So, but obviously this was when Nigel Pearson was in charge. But bloody typical. Like, Watford get rid of their manager and they're facing us, and obviously they've got the Tinkerman as well. I think he's only lost 1 out of his last 5 against Liverpool as well. So this makes me completely worried as well. Added to the fact that we don't have Alisson or Fabinho because they're playing for Brazil as well. So Kelleher will be in goal. I'd imagine that Henderson will probably be the number 6 as well. Jota and Trent are back, which is the main thing. So I'm going to back us. I'm going to back us to get a win against Watford. But Claudio Ranieri just worries me.
I must admit, he doesn't worry me because I think he's living on the fact that he won the Premier League with us. Mm-hmm. And I think he won the Premier League with us purely because he was coming after Nigel Pearson and the Great Escape years, and he rode on the back of that. But don't get me wrong, I love the guy to bits, and I'd still have his children. But he's not the man. We saw him at Fulham. He can't. He's not going to. I don't think he'll last the season at Watford, to be honest with you. So I don't think he's going to have that much of an effect. But I can see where you're coming from with that, Brad. Do you agree?
So I've just been handed a card here. Breaking news: Ranieri sacked after Watford defeat. That's how bad they are at managers, and that's how badly it's going to go for Watford. Unfortunately, they're going to absolutely tanked. I've just got this horrible feeling. It's Ranieri. It's his first game back, and this will add fuel to the fire of something that Chris has just mentioned about his biggest success came off the back of a pre-built team. People gone for the rest of their lives. It's Liverpool. In a way, in the nicest way possible, you probably got the biggest upset in terms of who you were playing for the result you got. Because I believe your last result before the international break was against Brentford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
3-3 draw. And they were half a yard off making that 4-3 and making it look really silly. Sillier than Arsenal.
Oh, they were magnificent.
Yeah, I mean, and that's all credit to Brentford. They played a fantastic game, but they could definitely. I'm now fully on the Brentford bus with Chris on Brentford. They've sold me on their dream, whatever it is, the way they play their football. I've got to give it credit.
North Macedonia Part 2.
Yeah, sure. Don't jinx them. I told you not to jinx them, right? But my point stands is that Liverpool tend to bite back when this sort of result happens to them. It doesn't matter how long it is, whether there's been an international break. These players come back and remember what happened in the last game. They have a big weight on their shoulders, Liverpool, because the reason they didn't challenge last season was because of Van Dijk, because of other injuries as well. Now they've not got them excuses. Van Dijk's back. They've got their players back. A result like this, they need to take the impact and they need to put somebody to the sword. It's just good.
So I take it you're going for Liverpool then?
No, so I want a Watford home win. Yeah.
Oh, you're going for what? Oh, wow.
No,
wow.
No,
okay.
I'm definitely going Liverpool, mate. Definitely going.
No, I've put you in the Watford camp now. You can't change your mind, mate.
I bloody can. Watch me, because that was my prediction. Get me in the Watford end.
Did I not ask? Yeah, you are in the Watford end.
You get me out of it. No, I'm going for Liverpool.
Oh, you're going for Liverpool, honestly. This is what I have to put up with every week. Honestly, he's more trouble than Paul Merson. He really is.
This is where I win the psychological battle.
James went for Liverpool to win 3-0, and Ranieri said he would award the team dinner if Watford kept a clean sheet. He's obviously moved up from the old pizza, although I think we could do with that again this season, trying to keep a clean sheet. Simon, good evening. Premier Hotspur TV, how the devil are you? Hope you are well, and glad Premier League is back and back to our old ways. Is that losing, Simon? And James, I can't see that. Sorry, mate. You know you're going to get it. I can't see Ranieri lasting long at Watford, but no one ever lasts long there. That's true. Premier Hotspur TV, by the way, guys, it's a great channel. Get over there and show Simon some love. He's a Spurs fan. He needs the love. I'm totally right. I think I can't see anything here other than a Liverpool win. I think Ranieri is the wrong man, and I think when your team like Watford sacks a manager because they sat in 14th at the time, I think we were in 12th. So the question then is, should we be sacking Ranieri? And that's a rhetorical question before everybody starts jumping on me.
You have to ask yourself this though: what are Watford's expectations? Because they're sitting comfortably in mid-table, and yet, yes, I know it was a bad result against Leeds, and look, they weren't great against Leeds. But he has had 2 wins. They've managed to get 7 points from their first 6 games. Like where is the expectations for Watford? They can't expect to be a top 10 team, because that's not Watford. Watford are a team that are expected to be mid-table or just maybe surviving relegation. So I don't know what the Watford board are thinking. Because I thought it was an absolute ludicrous decision to get rid of Munoz.
Yes, I mean, Watford have got 7 points. And like you say, what are their expectations? Leicester have only got 8 points, and we are a team that's finished 5th. So if you're looking at that, Watford, what are you expecting? And okay, Chelsea get away with it. They go sack a manager because they only win the FA Cup or whatever, bring a new manager in, they win the league. But the standard of manager that they're doing it with is completely different to the standard of manager that Watford are doing it with. And all I can say is, did anybody on that Watford board even look at what Ranieri did at Fulham?
It wasn't great.
You know what I think they do? I think they spin a wheel, right? And the first wheel is a list of random managers that might take the job. That won't be too expensive. And whichever one it lands on, they look at the manager, and depending on which wheel they want to put out, whether it's the one with the small numbers or the big ones, and they spin that, and that's how many months he gets in charge, regardless of his results.
Yes.
So many times I don't understand the sacking of the managers. I'm like you guys, I can't wrap my head around it. I think they got Pearson had them out the relegation zone and got sacked. It's like,
sacked with 2 games to go. Where's the logic in that?
I don't know. I don't get Watford at all. And to be honest with you, again, did they not look at the baggies last season? And they sacked Bilic with a few games in. It didn't work for them, did it? And they were in a worse position, of course. But James said here their owners are mental. The amount of money they write off on appointing managers and sacking managers is ridiculous. That's the only thing. You take the job at Watford knowing you're only going to work for less than a year, but you're going to be paid for free if you sign that sort of contract.
They've had 17 managers. They've had 17 managers since 2011.
Bloody hell. I mean,
it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And hello to Neil. Thank you very much for calling me the best Scottish football expert. I do appreciate that.
I think he was actually referring to Brad, actually. Good evening, Neil. How the devil are you? Beyond the 90, another great Leicester channel. Get supporting them, guys. And we like to share the love out between us Leicester groups. Next game, a mid-table 6-pointer. Yeah, maybe not. Aston Villa, trying to beef it up a bit here. Aston Villa versus Wolves. Aston Villa in 10th with 10 points. Last 5, Doug, they've won 2, lost 2, drawn 1. Wolves, I think they're going to struggle without Nuno. I think Nuno was such a perfect fit for them. And I know it wasn't a sacking technically, it was a mutual consent, but I don't understand that decision. I really don't. But Wolves, they've won 3 of the last 5. This is going to be a difficult one to call.
It is. It's a very difficult one to call, and as you said, I think it's 2 wins apiece and a draw in the last 5 meetings. I think this finished 0-0 the last time as well. So I've gone actually for a Villa win just on the basis of it being Villa Park. I think Villa have got a few players coming back as well. So I think they will just sneak this one. I'm going to go for a 1. I'm going to go for a Villa win.
A Villa win. Brad, while you're still here and before, as Neil says, apparently Newcastle are after us too as well. I can't speak Geordie, so I can just about understand Doug. Joking, Doug. I can't understand any of the. I was on a Geordie channel last season. My God, I was really struggling. I just could not understand what the guy was asking me. But while you're still on the Leicester team, Brad, which way are you going with this one?
Hey guys, you're just I'm hearing all this slack about Wolves. You're sleeping on them. They've just beat the richest club in the world. That was the last result, mate. Surely Wolves now are going to try to get the Premier League table, just beat the richest club in the world. How about that one? How about them for apples? You know what I mean? How are they doing?
Yeah, they may be the richest club right now, but before then they were average at best.
Oh yeah, could you imagine the sit-down talks? Yes, Mr. Halland. Why iPet? Come in here. We just lost to Wolves. Yeah, but they're going to get Halland and Sterling and Kane through the door. Anyway, we'll move on. The papers. It's only the papers. It's not Newcastle fans. But honestly, I've pegged this down as a draw. I think Wolves got a morale-boosting win against the richest club in the world. They got a morale-boosting win that they needed, facing it with their team at the moment and the results. They haven't had the greatest start, and Villa have been a bit hot and cold. And I think this will be a feisty Midlands derby, and I can't pick between them. So I'm going to go find me fence and sit on it for this one.
Well, you're a collector of splinters, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, James went for 1-1. Simon at Premier Hotspur's gone for Villa. David's gone for 1-0, just giving Villa the edge. And Neil says Ranieri will be gone before dilly ding dilly dong. I can't believe I'm saying this again because we did all this last week, and it isn't my plan to copy you, but I've got to agree with you, Brad. I can't split this up, and I'm going to be honest with you. I thought that Wolves are going to do worse than they're doing, having got rid of Nuno, but they've had a couple of good, wins, like you say, beating the poor guys of the northeast. So yeah, I think it will probably be a 0-0 or a 1-1. I've got to be honest with you. Right, this is the point that me and Brad rush out the door and hide because I should really have just sort of not put this in at all, should I? Then we wouldn't have to talk about it. All I'll say is, Doug, how many are they going to beat us by?
I mean, I've been to and fro for this game. I'm not going to lie, because it's the first game after an international break, and Manchester United have got a few injury problems anyway. I think Varane and Maguire are both out, so it's going to be Lindelof and By, or potentially Phil Jones at the back. So that could be very, very intriguing.
Great, yes. Phil Jones, pick him, please.
Phil Jones coming out of his slumber.
Yes.
I have to be honest, though. I think United are just going to sneak this. I'm going to go with United, unfortunately. But I would love if Leicester could actually end this horrendous, long, unbeaten run away from home.
Yes, I was nice having you on, Doug. Take care. Goodbye. Brad, Brad, how do you see it going? Dare I ask you?
You know what? Man United have been a bit frail, ain't they, with their results? I'm just trying to find straws to clutch out. What all straws can
The
clutch out?
last game they drew with Everton, and the one before that they lost to Villa.
Yes, I mean, so for all the hype, it's literally going to go one or two ways, isn't it? Either Ronaldo's going to come out and bang in about 4 passes and we're going to get ripped to shreds, or Leicester are going to cause the upset. So this is the one where I think I just chuck caution to the wind and take the gamble that separates the Macedonians from the Englands. And I'm going to go for... I'm going to back the boys to stumble a victory over the line, and I'm going to go for Leicester to win it. I think it's going to be a gritty game. I really do. If it's going to be won by us, it's going to be by a goal.
I hope you beat them. Absolutely hope you beat them.
You're not biased at all here, are you, Doug? I mean,
nope.
Talking to the ex-players, I mean, it's not looking good for us. Jerry Taggart went for 2-2. Ian Marshall went 2-1 Man United. Steve Walsh, bless him, he'll never choose a Leicester loss, so he's gone for 1-1. And Steve Lynix has gone 3-0 to Man United. I'm hoping he's doing his normal thing, Brad. And last season he was bottom of the prediction league of the ex-players, and towards the end he was getting everything so wrong that he kept going for wins to the opposition, hoping that he was putting the kibosh on it. I've got to, can't believe I'm saying this again, agree with Brad. I've never, ever predicted a loss for Leicester. I'll go for a draw is the worst I'll go for. But I just think we've had the international break. We've had a time. Brendan needs to turn it round, and he needs to turn it round quickly. And if you can turn it round against Man United, that boost that it will give us will mean more, than if it was a Norwich or one of those games. And of course, Wednesday we've got Spartak Moscow coming up. I'm going to have to go for. I'm going to think Leicester are going to sneak it again. I was edging towards a draw, but I really do think that we can. Like you say, Man United have got the problems. It all depends whether Ronaldo turns up or not. And I think the biggest thing that every team's got against Man United this season, the biggest advantage is that Ollie's still manager, because you just don't know. I like Ollie, but you just don't know. He's not a tactical genius. He kind of,
No.
He just wonders sometimes with his decisions. And, you hear the Man United fans questioning his decisions sometimes. So, I'm going to have to, unfortunately, agree with Brad again and go for the Leicester win. Dorco, good evening, sir. How the devil are you? He thinks 1-0 Vardy penalty. I'll take that. Oh, excuse me. I'm going for Leicester, says Spurs. What was that, young man? He's trying to sort his wires out, apparently.
Oh dear.
I'm still here, just off the camera. Everything's muddled, so I'm just sorting it out.
That's Brad talk for having a shit.
I will definitely not be taking you guys along for that journey. Don't worry about that.
We'll listen to see if we can hear anything in the background. Honestly, lads, it's raining. Don't worry. Man City Burnley, Doug. I mean, Man City, 3 wins, 2 draws. They got, you was 2-2 with you in their last game out. Burnley, unless they play Leicester, just can't seem to get going. I mean, they're 18th, 3 points. I honestly fear for them this season.
Yeah, I do as well. And obviously, sorry, Dan, if you're watching, but I think this could be the season Burnley go down. Unfortunately, I don't like predicting Burnley to get relegated or anything for Dan's sake, but I watched Burnley and how they capitulated against Everton was a big concern for me. Against Norwich, they should have won that game, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They never looked like winning that game anyway. But all roads lead to an absolute home banker in this game by a long way. So I'm going City.
Yeah. I'll jump in there because I think Brad's still sorting his wires out. I've got to say, Burnley do sometimes. I mean, they were unlucky not to beat us, to be honest with you. And this is what kind of sums up Leicester's season: is that Burnley put 3 past us, and then they can't score against Norwich. All right, thankfully VAR worked in our favour that time.
Yeah,
but they are. Yeah, they're having a bad season, and it's almost like they've continued from last season because they were struggling then. So I can't see anything other than a home win either. So and I have a feeling Brad might be agreeing with us.
Yeah, this is going to be the battering of the weekend. I'm afraid this has got no. I can't see any way. I could normally talk my way around to look at all 3 possible outcomes when I look at these results to try and weigh up which one we go for. And every one I think of is, even if Man City turn up in 3rd gear and it's only 1 or 2-0, they're still going to cruise to it, I think. I agree with Doug. I think this season could be Burnley's last one in the Premiership for at least a year, because I just don't think they've got enough about them in terms of investment and in terms of quality on that pitch to get out of a rut like this. I just don't think they have enough in the reserve tank to chuck on and change their fortunes enough to stay up this year. So it ain't going to get any easier this weekend, I don't think.
No, it's not the sort of game that they want, to be honest with you. And you're looking at Southampton and Leeds, who are above them, are playing each other. If they're not careful, they're going to start pulling away. And you've got Newcastle in the bottom, and we know what's happened with them. They are likely to sort of start to pull away come January. So we'll see. Simon says there, nothing but a City win. James, Man City 5, Burnley 0. It could well be. I won't put it past us. Or past them, I should say. Norwich City. Let's be honest with you. I don't like saying this because I do like to see these small teams. I no disrespect to Norwich, but I do like to see the small teams do well and the big teams struggle. But Norwich, why? Why are you here? You come up, you don't even, Sheffield United came up, gave it a go. Brentford have come up, and one thing I have predicted right this season, that I think they'll be the best of the 3 that have come up, and they're proving me right. Yeah. What are you doing, Norwich? You've come up, you've got 1 point, you managed to get a draw against Burnley. Come on, you're getting the money for coming up, but then you're not spending it. And at some point, you're going to have to take a risk because it's going to be embarrassing. And I can honestly say, I mean, we take pride in the fact, don't we, Brad, that it's Derby have been relegated with the least possible points out of any club from the Premier League. I can see that being beaten this year with Norwich. I can't see them getting into double figures. I don't know what you think, Doug.
I totally agree. I said it in my I think first predictions video that I really struggle to see where the points are coming for Norwich. It's like every single season that they seem to come up that Daniel Farke never learns what to do in the Premier League. Like, there's a way you can play in the Championship. You can play very, very attacking and not be very, very good defensively. You can do that in the Championship. When it's the Premier League, it's a different kettle of fish. So, unfortunately, for me, I cannot see anything other than a Brighton win in this game.
No. I do totally where you're coming from. I mean, it's like, when Burnley went down last time, they stuck with Sean Dyche. When he came back up, he made sure they didn't go straight back down again, and they didn't. And Brad Graham Potter. I mean, I was on a show, last night it was on Rich's channel, and we got talking about the England manager, and people saying, "Oh, Graham Potter for England manager." And I just have to say at this point, I do not understand what everybody's hatred of Gareth Southgate is, because he's been the most successful manager we've had since the Ralph Ramsey. So, all this, like, just because he's not picking your players, you seem to want him out. But Graham Potter for England manager, come on, but he's doing really well with Brighton this season.
Started off well enough. What's their last 3 results been, Brighton? Do you know, Chris? You got it up?
They've got 2 draws. They drew with Arsenal. Yeah, they drew with Palace. But they had 2 wins before that. And thanks for reminding me of this, Brad. They beat Leicester 2-1. And they actually beat Brentford, which is no mean feat.
Right. So they got a dubious victory against us on the circumcisions of the decisions that were made in that game.
Can I just say that was absolutely ridiculous? Your 2 goals getting chalked off. Absolutely ridiculous.
Definitely.
Yeah. They then got a 95th minute equaliser against Crystal Palace, if I'm not mistaken.
And they were shit in that game.
And they were dull as dishwater against Arsenal. They were duller than dishwater again. That Arsenal game. That Arsenal game nearly cured my insomnia. And you know what? Even a Ram managed to get 3 points in this division. And you know what? Just because of that insolence of actually everybody banging on and all these new, it's the frat boys year of the millennials or whatever, with the footballers going, Graham Potter. Norwich win. Norwich get their only win of the season, and this is it. Go for it, please, Chris, before I change my mind and come to my senses. I did this with Watford against Watford, didn't I, with Spurs, and I was the one that got it wrong.
All I can say to you, Brad, all I can say to you is this.
Be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
He's top of the league. He's top of the league. You say I'm serious.
You are
not anymore.
You are bonkers. You're absolute bonkers if you think Norwich are getting anything off Brighton.
You know what? Clip it, because if it happens, right, that's going to be my catchphrase to replace. Still, I will find you on every channel, mate, and every time you make a statement, I will say you're bonkers, and I'll play it back to you. No, honestly, every sentence, what you're saying though is true. Every footballing brain, including my own, is going, Brighton. I backed it in a long ball, I think. I think Brighton. But I just want some little bit of significance that Brighton aren't as good as everybody's making out. We got spooned by them, by the officials, let's face it. Right?
I can go through all these. We're spooning. You were circumcised a few minutes ago.
Yeah, well,
all these terms.
I've done everything, mate, because it's just Brighton, one of them teams that are getting on my nerves. Ever since they had that victory against us, they've just been getting on my nerves. They had a 95th minute saviour that saved them against Crystal Palace, right? And then they had the most boringest game ever. They actually played that to someone with insomnia. Or someone who's child asleep, and they'll watch that game and think they're asleep.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm afraid I can't agree with you on this one, Brad. I can agree with Doug thinking you are absolutely bonkers, because I don't agree with all this. Graham Potter is going to be the next Sir Alex Ferguson shit that's going round. He's an average manager who managed to keep Brighton up last season. If he has a good season this season and maybe gets him into Europe and etc., then he's done nothing yet. He has them playing nice football, but he kept them up. That was his claim to fame last season and the season before. I didn't expect them to be doing this well this season, so credit to them. But I can't see anything other than the Brighton win. And I think I'll be saying that whoever Norwich play every season, I will be saying that.
Everybody said that about Everyone said that about Derby. Eventually, they will one go though. I'm just choosing it now, getting out of the way before people start getting desperate to predict a Norwich win because they want an upset. I'll get my madness out of the way now.
Well, we'll be back with a bottom of the table clash. I'm gonna have to go and have a lie down and a cold shower to get over a bad prediction there.
You know what, though? One of these days when I get one of these right, and I get called bonkers by one of you, I'm going to big brain this situation back to you.
We'll be right back after this. Indeed, it was the big news of the week. Not Newcastle being taken over. Oh no, that pales into insignificance. Leicester Till I Die every Tuesday. Check us out on BBC website, on the Leicester City homepage. You'll see my thoughts on the weekend. Not a game, not a match report, anything that's happened, VAR, anything like that. You'll see my thoughts on it. So every Tuesday, check out the BBC LCFC homepage, and you'll have the pleasure of seeing my thoughts. That's a reason to avoid it, isn't it? Doug,
well deserved, by the way. Well deserved.
Thank you very much, young man.
Yeah,
You're a gentleman.
well done, mate. Well done.
Thank you, Brad. I still think you were bonkers for the last prediction, but thank you. Well, it's a battle of the, but the bottom, it's Leeds against Southampton, 16th against 17th. Leeds managed to get a win, their first win last time out against Watford. I don't know if Southampton have won one this season. They got stuffed by Chelsea 3-1, and even Wolves beat them the way the match before. It's going to be last on match of the day, this one, Doug, isn't it?
It feels like it could be, yes, quite easily. Look, I think this is one you just flip a coin with. It could be a Southampton win. It could be a draw. It could be Leeds. I honestly don't know. So I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go for a draw.
Yeah, for a draw. Your first draw. I always want to say good evening to Rich at Rich Sports. Get over there. Check his channel out. Check out last night's show. How is your Wi-Fi, Rich? Because last night it was the curse of the Arteta Wi-Fi. In fact, there was I think at one point there were 6 guests on there, and there was only me and Rich could actually finish a conversation.
do you know the funny thing was, I actually started tuning into that, and like I think it was like one after another, like just nobody was speaking. I felt so sorry for Rich.
And at points there was like, it went so quiet because it was obviously, I say, it was all breaking up. Everybody was overlapping everybody else, and I didn't jump in because obviously if you're always jumping in, you feel like you're taking over. But it was a case of nobody said anything, and we had these long silences where everybody was waiting to see whether everybody else had finished.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
If Richard got hair, we would have had none left at the end of that. And I say this actually sums up the whole show, because I sent him a message afterwards saying, "Thanks for having me on, Rich," and he just sent me one back saying, "Thanks for having decent Wi-Fi." James said here, the dreaded Arteta Wi-Fi. It was the Arteta Wi-Fi. Brad, how's your Wi-Fi? Oh, yeah.
My Wi-Fi is good, and my Wi-Fi is all right.
So Doug has gone for a draw. Simon's gone for Southampton, and James has gone for Leeds. Which way are you going to fall on this one?
See, Southampton, must be laughing, first of all, because they got 15 million for a 6'4" player who can't defend, to a lot of Leicester's fans' eyes at the moment, which is obviously not the case. He's just in a real bad state of affairs at the moment with our back four. I think it's easy to lay the blame at people when it's their jobs that are causing the concern. But anyway,
Ryan Bennett.
They've got some. Well, yeah. they've got some actual decent results. They got a result against Man City, and until the 70th minute, let's not forget they were 1-1 with Chelsea. A Chelsea side that had Lukaku and all the problems were solved because they had a bloke who knew what the back of the net looked like, unlike that 60 million Timo Werner, who I never wanted at Leicester. But besides the point, anyway, they're actually not doing as bad as everybody thinks. And I know Leeds got a drab, very easy 1-0 win because Watford just didn't turn up. Maybe the manager knew he was getting sacked. Who knows? Because it's funny how that happened and they performed so badly, and then he loses his job. It's almost a coincidence that the Watford manager was sacked after that. I don't think really he's obviously given Leeds the confidence to be at home, but I actually think Southampton are going to get the win here. I actually think they're going to get it because they're doing better than people give them credit for. A lot of people would have had them down in and around the relegation zones going into their team being ripped apart. They obviously lost their killer instinct up front in Danny Ings. That was a big loss for a team like Southampton, who normally sell to Liverpool. Yeah. He's already gone there and come, so they got that one out of the way. But when they got Danny Ings, he'd already gone to Liverpool. But they still lost a big man up front, and that was going to, until the window closed and they made sure they kept James Ward-Prowse, there was always a talk Southampton's call was getting ripped out. And a lot of people probably, like I said, had them down at 15, 16, 17. But they've surprised a lot of people, like I said, with their results and their performance for 3/4 of it against Chelsea. And that's why I think that if they can shake that last 15 minutes over this international break, which they hopefully have done, and keep going and realise what they were doing in that first 75 minutes was good, how will they do without James Ward-Prowse? This is what we'll see. But I still think somehow Southampton will get the job done.
So the question is now, do I go for a full sweep and go for a Leeds away win? You know what? The thing is, last season I would have done. I really would. But Leeds are not firing this season like they did last season. It seems to be second season syndrome that a lot of clubs have when they come up. I mean, for us, the second season syndrome was winning the Premier League. Just thought I'd throw that in. But teams do seem to struggle in the second season unless they're called Leicester. And I just think it's going to be a difficult one, this. I can't see it being the most exciting of games, but I can't see past a draw. Again, I've got to agree with Doug here. I think it is. I think it's going to be a boring 0-0, to be honest with you. I don't think Dan James. I'm really at the moment glad that we didn't go in for him. And then Saturday night, what you could say is the big London derby, Brentford against Chelsea. Chelsea, top of the pile, 16 points, only lost one this season, which was in fairness to Man City. Apart from that, and a draw with Liverpool, they've won 3 of the last 5. They beat Villa. They beat Spurs. Well, again, who doesn't? Sorry, Simon. And they of course, beat the aforementioned Southampton. Brentford, and I've got to say, it's not often I've got much right this season because teams that I've predicted to struggle, like Brighton and what have you, are doing rather well. So they're sort of showing I know nothing about football. But Brentford, 12 points, sat in 7th. I'd swap places with them right now. They beat West Ham, which is no mean feat this season last time out. They drew with yourselves, as we said, Doug.
Yep.
They beat Wolves. They did lose to Brighton, and they drew with Villa. But it is Chelsea they're playing.
Yeah, you say that, though. I've been very, very impressed with Brentford. I think they've taken to the Premier League like a duck to water. And I've been so impressed with the way that they play football as well. I think Thomas Frank has done a magnificent job. Chelsea I think are missing a couple of players this week anyway. I think Lukaku might be missing actually. So that could be quite crucial. I think Werner will probably play. They've still got a very, very good squad, Chelsea.
Yeah.
But this is my shock of the week. I'm going for a Brentford 1.
Whoa. And you said what to Brad earlier?
Yeah.
See, big brain.
Honestly,
Be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
honestly, I just have a feeling that Brentford are going to win.
Well, I mean, it is the prediction show, and I am beginning to think I am the only one with that hasn't gone mad here. It's like being in an episode of The Walking Dead. You know, I'm looking at everybody thinking, what the hell's happened to everybody else? Brad, your turn to get your own back at with Doug, surely.
Get the John McEnroe, mate. Because I've got Brentford to win it.
Yes.
They're at home.
Okay, carry on talking because this is more than a John McEnroe. I've got to get something. Carry on talking for a moment.
No, honestly, Chris, for someone who said they're back in Brentford and done really well this season, you've got to look at their results at home. They beat Arsenal, yeah, Banter FC. They beat Banter FC, fine. They made that place a cauldron for Liverpool. Liverpool was scared on that game. They got outdone. Liverpool don't normally do that against a new promoter side, no matter how good they're high flying in the season. Let's be honest with you. Teams are in a peak of their season. I'm going bold with a win, but honestly, mate, I was struggling to go either for a win or a draw on this one because Chelsea haven't actually, they've kind of stuttered out the last 3 or 4 weeks, haven't they? Yes, they got 3 against Southampton, but that was only because of a red card. You know, Chilwell, a 50 million waste, gave away an obvious penalty. They were clutching at straws. They needed Southampton to do with Southampton and mess it up themselves by getting a red card, but this time they only conceded 1 and not another 8 afterwards. And honestly, if Brentford are going to stay up in this division, these are the games that stadium is built for. It's close quarters. It reminds me of a smaller version of Filbert Street. It's right next to the pitch. Honestly, I might be wrong. Chelsea might steamroll them. If it was at Chelsea, I wouldn't even bat an eyelid. I'd say, sorry, Brentford, it's Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are in a form. They're going to do it. But there's something about Brentford playing at home against the big boys. They remind me a little bit of Leicester in the 90s. They relish it. They're up for it at home because they feel they've got a chance. If I'm wrong,
Brad,
fair.
Brad, I'm sorry. You have gone the step further than what we like to call here at Leicester the McEnroe, and you've got to have this. I'm afraid.
The answer to that question, and I think you are an ostrich.
I'm top of the league, mate. So we'll see when these predictions come true. I told you I'm holding Norwich to you, and you won't have Brentford over me because you like Brentford. So if you want them to win secretly, and this is where he secretly now is wishing he hadn't put Brentford down so he can't look like an idiot. Now he has to go for Chelsea. See, outside the box.
I haven't done any other predictions yet. I always wait and see how I go on here first. But I like to sort of follow the master when it comes to making predictions, and I like to stick to facts.
To talk about facts because I think it's important.
Indeed, it is, Rafa. We need to stick to the facts, and the facts are that Chelsea are. I've got Chelsea down to win the league this season, and I think they will. Brentford, you know, I said that they would stay up. They'll do their best out of the 3 that have come up, and I want them to stay up because I want clubs like that to do well. I'd love to see a team like Newcastle or an Arsenal go down, and these little ones stay up and have a good run at it. But Brentford are going to come up against teams this season when they can't quite do it. They can't do it every week. They can't bring that performance in every week. And I'm sorry, you two. I just don't know what you have been drinking. I really, really don't. Whatever it is, please get me some because James said there, James, I mean, it's an understatement. Chris looks lost. Lost isn't the word. You know what I mean? I'm 5 miles down the road the other direction. Not lost. I don't see. Yes, Brentford. It's great to see what they're doing. I love to see them win. And I want them to stay up, and I want them to do a Sheffield United and even challenge possibly for Europe. It would be brilliant. I'd love it. And I haven't got time to get me Kevin Keegan one up, but I would love it if they beat them. But I just can't see it happening. So I'm sorry. I don't know what you two have been, smoking, drinking, whatever. But
so don't worry, because when Norwich are 3-0 up at half time, right, I'll just message Chris and I'll just put Norwich.
And Norwich are 3-0 up.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about. Me just didn't go for Norwich. I'm on about both of them. I'm getting to Brentford, and when Brentford are winning 4-0 against Chelsea, that's when I'll say this is from me and Doug. I'll send him a lovely message. The steamroll Chelsea, and we can live the dream, mate.
I will unfriend you. I will unfriend you, Brad. Piers Morgan walked out on his presenting job. You might not even get the chance to walk, Brad. But that's the Saturday night game. It's on Sky Sports, so we can all watch it, and I'm sure the messages on Twitter will be going mad on Saturday night. But what were you doing last night, guys? You can still catch up and watch this.
Fancy a night in with the egg?
It's The X on the Pitch Show with Chris and X-Fox Julian Watts, looking back at the past week at all things Leicester City.
Find it on Leicester Till I Die. It is the X on the Pitch show. I love that. I'm so proud of myself for coming up with that title. Julian Watts, last night we looked at Pep's idea of having B teams in the lower leagues. We also looked at the Newcastle takeover. Is it good or bad for the Premier League? Transfer rumours, how it affected the players involved, and internationals, too many, too often. So those are the topics we covered. And it's great to get an ex-player's point of view on some of these because it shows us fans up. It really does. But, we move swiftly after that last. Hang on a second. I've not put. I was in such shock there. You see, I didn't even add Brad under Brentford. But Brad there because he's not getting away with it when Chelsea stuff them.
It is what it is. I don't normally do well after so I might as well start getting my zeros in now.
Yeah. Sunday, the first of the Sunday games. West Ham, we know all about them, don't we, Brad? West Ham travel up to Liverpool. Everton are sat in 5th place at the moment, 3 wins out of 5 with their last games. West Ham dropped off a little bit after the good start, but they are still sat in 9th with 11 points. 1 win only in the last 5, though. Where's this one going, Doug?
It's another tricky one to call. I just think with Everton having, I think, a couple of players back, I think they have Calvert-Lewin back, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, not having Calvert-Lewin, because I think they've been playing very, very well. Sorry, James. I'm actually going to go for a West Ham away win here.
You how to lose friends and not influence anybody. You're doing a good job with that. But in fairness, James has gone for a draw. And Simon agreed with you. I think the best thing that's happened to Everton was Ancelotti leaving, to be honest with you, because I think it was just a case of when rather than if, and he jumped ship at the first opportunity. That said, Real Madrid, it's hard to sort of turn them down, isn't it? But I like Rafa as a manager. I like, he knows his facts, as we saw a few minutes ago. And I think he's just... I think he's the right fit for Everton, and Everton got the squad last season. Ancelotti didn't make the most of it. I think Rafa's going to go in. I'm going to go on the other side of the scale, and I'm going to go for an Everton win because they're at home. If Damari Gray turns up as he has been doing, who knows? It could be a few goal fests. What about you, Brad? Are you going to go in the middle?
Yeah, I am actually, because unlike Doug, I can't choose between them. They both have, on their day, could put in a great performance. If I was to, I'm going to do a score prediction on the long balls, but if I was going to call this draw a score prediction, I'd give it a Desmond 2-2. I think it's going to be a really high feisty game.
Oh, that was bad.
I know,
Even by
bad,
my
but...
standards, Brad, that was bad.
Well, I've got to try and keep up with the standards, haven't I? I've just set a new low.
I set myself low standards and failed to come up to them. Let's just leave it as that. So the first game where we've split it across. Sunday. How can I big this one up for you, Simon? You've got the team that wants to do well and is now very, very rich against the team who think they're rich but they're not, and peaked after about 2 weeks when they were top of the league for a couple of nights. Tottenham, Newcastle.
Yeah. I'm going to say this, and sorry to any Spurs fans, I think the place will be absolutely buzzing, and I just think St James's Park will be buzzing, so I'm going to go for a home win.
Oh, right. The buzz gets it for you. Bradders?
Yeah, Newcastle, we've talked a lot about them. You've done a show recently on the subject. You're talking about a club that want Havertz and Haaland, but will probably end up with De Zeko and Carlos Tevez up front in January. But nonetheless, I agree with Doug. I looked at this fixture at first and thought, this is going to be the gate crash party. This is where all that jumping up and down and drunk Geordies on a Sunday afternoon, you kind of get the fun sucked out of them because they'll get beat.
Yeah.
Then I saw where it was, and then I saw who it was against, Wolves reserves. And I'm with you, mate. I see a Newcastle win. I just see a Newcastle win. I think the hype train goes on, even though they've got to rely on a guy called Jeff Hendricks, who Burnley didn't even want to score. I think somehow they'll win this game.
Jeff Hendricks.
It is going to be Steve Bruce's 1000th game as a manager, and I think, in fairness, that's probably what's kept him in the job for another week. I think the owners there have said, "Go and have your 1000th game." The pressure's off him a little bit. He probably knows he's going. I think it's probably already been decided. The problem is, who have they got lined up to come in, and do they get rid of him before they've got somebody to come in? Problem is, it would be very easy to just go for Tottenham because it is Newcastle. They haven't got, probably apart from one, possibly two, the squad is down there with Norwich's squad. And they have got Steve Bruce as a manager, and bless him, he's just not a Premier League manager. Some managers are good in the Championship and getting teams promoted. Some managers are good at keeping players up, like Sam Allardyce, but unfortunately, Steve Bruce is not a Premier League manager other than, say, just keeping teams in the division. The problem is with Tottenham, I saw them play Arsenal the other week, and in that first half, they were awful. To say Arsenal, sorry, Simon, I know Simon's watching this, but, they were bad, and there's no two ways about it.
They were shocking. Absolutely. I think that's the worst I've seen Spurs play in a long, long time.
Yes, and to say that they are claiming that they won the second half, it's a bit grasping at straws.
What question for you? What do you do if you get your dream move to Manchester United scuppered by them spending 100 million on Aston Villa? You fall over and set Saka up on a counter-attack in a North London derby. Well done, Kate. Absolute hero. Heroes don't wear capes, but that's how you lose a North London derby. He fell over and lost the ball to Saka. It was like he's saying to Tottenham, "Are you going to make me play for you? Are you? Then I'll do my best." And it's like even better than going on strike to have fallen over and lost the ball the way he did.
I think, Brad, you meant Man City, but I was wondering where you were going with that when you said dream move to Man United. But I get totally what you mean. He is totally off par. I mean, he played awful, I believe, last night. I only watched about 10 minutes, and funny enough, when I dipped into the game twice, it was for both goals. Where that was looking at, I don't know. But Kane is just, his head's not there at the moment. It reminds me of Mahrez when he wanted to leave and he was going on strike and sat at airports. Like I say, and they are just playing so awful. Nuno is not the manager for them. He was the 8th, 9th choice It was embarrassing. And the fact that they got to the top of the league all this season is amazing.
As a miracle.
Okay, they beat Villa 2-1 last time out, but say that Arsenal loss, the Chelsea destroyed them 3-0 as well, and even Palace destroyed them 3-0. And the win before that was Watford. The problem I've got is it's Newcastle, and yes, they're on a high, but they haven't. I don't think they've got the manager to take advantage of that. I'm sorry, Steve, but you're just rubbish. There's no two ways. Let's not mince words. Let's say it as it is. You rubbish. You really, really are.
Rubbish.
You're hanging on by the skin of your teeth. You go, and I think it's going to be a draw. I can't see Tottenham win it because they have been so awful. Nuno's not the manager for them. He hasn't got them playing right. And when your best player doesn't want to play for you, like Brad said, that says it all. But it is Newcastle. And I think Newcastle, they're going to have all the pomp and glory. They're going to be so up for it. It's going to be a cauldron there of noise. But it's Steve Bruce. I don't think he can tactically get anything that, even though they did beat us 4-1 at the back end of last season. James says, my advice for Tottenham against Newcastle, do not start Harry Kane. He's been shocking, basically what we were saying, James. You're not wrong there. Simon, the Spurs fan, he's put his head above the parapet here. Our record is not great against this lot, so I can see this continuing. And Nuno sacked after. Whoa. A big. I need to get some more. Yes, I need to get some more jingles, don't I? Because I haven't got one ready apt for that at all. But wow. Yes. Well, to be honest with you, I don't think he was going to last anyway. I really didn't, but that was a bit early. James, I'm pleased for Newcastle fans with the takeover, but they need to have a long-term plan and do things smartly. From what I've seen with the interviews, and we said this at the start, I think, didn't we, Doug? That I think they are looking at it, that they're not just going to go out and spend millions. I think they're going to consolidate this season and take it step by step. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. My thought is, how are Sky going to react to this? Because Sky have got their favourite six. I don't call them the big six anymore. They've got their favourite six. I don't know what Newcastle's, I said this the other day, I don't know what Newcastle's support worldwide is. So whether they would fall into that, bringing enough money in for Sky, it'll be interesting to see how they... Terry, sorry, I was totally distracted by this. Like a guy on his honeymoon, Newcastle will pound themselves into his own. I think you're talking from experience there, Terry. How's Mrs. Fuller, by the way?
Could you just imagine?
Mrs. Fuller?
Can you just imagine though? I just want to have a bit of fun with this because I really do want Newcastle to have success, right? But don't Newcastle fans in the back of their head have that little shred of doubt that they've gone through so much ball, insert swear word there, with Mike Ashley? It's been so many painful 14 years. Wouldn't it just be typical of Newcastle's luck to get 15th year and they realise they're the richest club in the Championship?
Yes, yeah.
Could you just imagine this is how it goes for them? They go and do a QPR and spend millions on past it players to try and do a Man City and they end up coming 18. I don't want it to happen. I feel evil for thinking it, but the more you've been going on about it, the more I thought, wow, imagine now if Newcastle got relegated.
Yeah.
320 billion in the Championship. They'll probably still sign Billy Sharp with Steve Bruce in charge.
It'd be interesting. Well, be interesting to see. I think they'll stay up because I think there's worse teams now. And like I say, I think the owners, I think they're very, very sensible owners. They've got the plan and they're not going to rush in. Simon, mate, I love you to bits, but you're obviously suffering there. It's not too early. It's 6 games too late with Nuno.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest with you, I think it's been 7 games too late. So I don't think you should have appointed him in the first place. But I'm gonna have you down getting a point there at least. So, but and then Monday night on Sky. If you've not been bored by in fact, I'm going to watch that Newcastle Tottenham game just for the reaction of the Geordie fans. Arsenal Palace, a London derby. Arsenal have turned it round. I'm having to eat a bit of humble pie at the moment because I was taking the piss out of Arsenal and their process and what have you. And it's actually, they are getting a few nosebleeds at the moment. They're up to 11th. They still want Arteta out.
Yeah.
The guy said earlier, I don't know whether you saw that, Arteta to Liverpool. They've won 3 of the last 5. They only managed to put 1 past Norwich, 1 past Burnley. But obviously they had that Tottenham win, and last time out they drew with Brighton. So it's kind of they're stuttering rather. I think they're sort of trying to do about 40 miles an hour in second gear. And then you've got Palace, who again I had for possibly going down this season, but they drew with West Ham. They beat Tottenham 3-0. They lost to you guys 3-0. I don't know what you thought of them. And they drew with Brighton, and of course they drew with us last time out after giving us the lead.
I think Palace have been unlucky in a couple of games this season, especially against us. They were very, very unlucky to. Hello, Scott. Hope you're doing well, mate. I look at this game, and the manager of the month curse is going to happen again. I think it's going to happen again. But I'm not saying Arsenal are going to lose. I'm actually going to go for a draw because I believe last season, I think it was a 2-2 at the Emirates. So I'm going to go for a draw.
What were Palace like when you played them? Because, like I say, I was thinking like they've lost quite a few players. Yeah, they've made a couple of signings, but they've got the new manager Vieira, but he's inexperienced as a manager in the Premier League.
Do you know the thing with Palace is I like that they've attacked more under Vieira than they did under Hodgson. I think Hodgson kept them back a little bit, and I think obviously speaking to good friend Ali, good friend of the good friend of my channel and good friend of your channel as well.
Yeah,
I think he's more happy with Vieira, and I do like the way that they're actually playing. They've got a good attacking style about them, and I think they'll cause Arsenal problems. So that's why I've gone for a draw.
No, that's good. Brad?
Well, Arsenal don't have Harry Kane on loan anymore. He's gone back to Spurs, so they don't have 12 men to play with. Honestly, as frustrated as the game was for Leicester, I've got to give a lot of credit to Palace. And the manager, one of these very few managers that's already, I don't want to put the mockers on him, but, one of them few managers out of the 300 they've tried that are ex-footballers to become managers that might just become a success, seems to have a knowledge, maybe pick the right sort of team to do it around. There's no real expectations other than probably 17th to the most pessimistic of Crystal Palace fan for the time being. I think they've oversat their welcome on a cash cow with Zaha. They might have missed out on that, but who knows? They've got a few players, and their 2 players they put on against us changed the game completely, didn't it, Chris? Their 2 subs literally made the difference. They scored within 47 seconds of coming on, and the other one got them back in it in the first place. Although, if you remember, I did the pre-show for the Crystal Palace. I said Edouard would be one to watch for all the wrong reasons, and to be fair, we kept him quiet. Didn't do much else, but we kept him quiet. So I was right, at least something for Palace.
Yeah.
But they have impressed me. Again, Arsenal at the back always seems to be frail. If they lose a game, it always seems to go to pot for them at the back. And I think taking on a Crystal Palace side that will be buoyed by the way they've reacted this season, given the circumstances of losing an experienced manager and getting Vieira. And I'd probably say, looking at it statistically, the success or lack of success from these Rooney's and Lampards, etc., that have come in and not managed to win things from being an ex-player. I'm going to have to sit on the fence and agree with a draw here because I cannot see the way Arsenal have been in the last 4 or 5 seasons. This is just a typical game that they kind of slump their way to either losing or nicking a point from, and then we get Arsenal on TV back at its best, cursing the players and saying Arteta out. It'll be one of them games. I just feel like Arsenal over the last 5 or 6 seasons don't get much of a good thing for too long, and this will be a game where they feel they chuck away some points. So yeah, put me in the middle, mate.
I'll put you in the middle. Good evening to my daughter Heather. She's gone Leicester 5, Man United 0. She has gone for 4 goals by Schmeichel. That's only because he's the only player she knows.
Heather, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'll see you tomorrow night, Heather. Looking forward. Ian Wilson, by the way, another ex-player. He's just sent me his score prediction, and he's gone Leicester 3, Man United 1. So good man, Ian. Good man. I'm going for a Palace win here.
He's joined the madhouse. Get him on. Get him in there. Come on.
What?
There's
no surprise in that.
I went there with Norwich. He's gone there with Crystal Palace. Arsenal on form. Can't look anywhere past an Arsenal win. And here he is going for a bloody Palace win.
Go on, Chris. Go on. I like it.
Can I just say, okay, let's take the Tottenham game out because it was a North London derby and it was only 45 minutes of dominance by Arsenal. And I think the fact that Arsenal were good and Tottenham was so bad was probably more than the fact that Arsenal were good. But they've only beaten Burnley 1-0. They've only beaten Norwich 1-0. So it isn't a good run of form at all, you know. And they did get stuffed by Man City. And I just, having watched, and they couldn't beat Brighton, but having watched them against us, I honestly think they did play well. I think Vieira's a better manager than I've given him credit for. And Arsenal, I think their blip is over. I really do. I think they've had a few wins, just scraping over the few 1-0s. James said, has anybody been on the sherry tonight with these predictions?
I don't drink sherry, James, but no.
No, it's horrible stuff. Can I just say, right, let's have a look here. Brad going for Norwich win. You've got to agree with me here, Doug. I mean, that's the weirdest prediction of the night.
Yep.
You know, and Brentford against Chelsea. I'm sorry, you were up there with Brad as well, Doug. And I don't think Palace beating Arsenal is actually. I think that's a sensible choice.
I think you've taken the safer of the Sky's favourite teams fixtures to go against. If you're looking at the Sky loving, you've gone against one of their beloved top 6. Let's look at it that way and get you in the nut house, mate. Come on. Let's look at all them predictions realistically. And on paper, Crystal Palace against Arsenal should always look like a long shot. So come on, just admit it. Come and join me.
No, I'm not doing that all. To me, let's be honest with you. After Brentford stuffed Arsenal in the opening game, you'd have put your money on Palace winning this. It's only because they've got 1-0.
You'd have put your money. You'd have also put your money on Liverpool beating Brentford. So
no. I'm sorry, Brad, but to me, that's quite a normal, decent choice. Not like Norwich. Not like Norwich. Come on. But guys, that's what we've done. So I'm going to say thank you very much. At least you were sort of half sensible there, Doug, with your choices.
My big brain tactic. I get you onto my level of thinking, and then you pick the game that I want you to pick the same team as me, so you don't get the points. How will work? It's my brain's tactic. My camera won't work.
If I get this totally wrong this week, that there'll be no prediction show next week.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chris will be copying my own work every week if Norwich win. I tell you that much.
Yeah, but thank you very much.
He's got that many clips that embarrass me, mate. I just want one to go in my way so I can say, get that Norwich clip and send it me so I can use it against you.
You're breaking up.
Norwich are going to lose.
It's that Arteta Wi-Fi, Brad. I can't. It's that
Arteta Wi-Fi. But just very, very quickly, thank you very much for having me, Chris. It has been an absolute.
Oh. Sorry, I pressed. I meant to do that. So because I was going to say, give your channel a shout out.
Yeah, my channel's the Dugout Football channel. I'm just about to do a Watford preview. So if anyone wants to check that out, then obviously come and check me out. And my Twitter handle's there, nrod_1992. Instagram is Douglas.Horn and my Facebook is Douglas James Horn. So thank you very much for having me, Chris. And at least I'm not too bonkers as Brad this week.
No, nobody's as bonkers as Brad. And just to say that Doug's link is in the description below if you want to check his YouTube out. Go over, great channel. There's a lot of mixed stuff. Get over there and give it a sub. Doug, thanks very much, mate. And sorry it's gone on a bit long.
Don't worry.
But good luck with your show, and good luck with the game this weekend.
Thank you. See you later.
All the best, mate. Take care.
All the
Bye-bye.
best.
Norwich.
I know. I think my camera's gone off in disgust at me going so wild with my predictions. You know, I've got to have one, Chris. Every week I've got to pull out a surprise, and I like to call it Brad's bold predictions. I mean, you could put the initials or something else, but BBP would stand for Brad's bold predictions.
Yeah, is it right? It's the man with the board. That's what it is. It's gone to your head. Give a man a board, and he thinks he knows what. Yeah,
give me some magnets and some whiteboard pens, and I'll lose my whiteboard. But I'm top of the league. I'm giving this as a freebie so everybody can catch up. That's what I'm really doing. I'm being nice. It's my Christmas gift, so it's the only thing I can get you. So enjoy it.
Mate, thanks so much. I will see you on Saturday.
I'm hoping you see me at this rate, mate. I'm hoping you see me at this rate, the way this phone's being today.
Well, if I don't see you, I will hear you. One or the
Definitely
other.
Will.
Yeah, at 5:30 on Saturday for the post-match show. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, but thanks a lot, mate.
I'm expecting a Chris Rants video. That's what I'm expecting, mate. I'm hoping for it not to happen. I'm hoping it'll be a praising one, but I've got a funny feeling, mate.
Yeah,
let's hope we're wrong.
I've got the rant jingle ready. Thanks very much, mate. Take care, and it's been great to have you on as always. Cheers, bud.
Yeah. See you, mate.
Cheers. Bye. So Norwich, what? I mean, I'm not like Palace to beat Arsenal. I think it's normal. This is what's coming up. Seven o'clock tomorrow. We have got the preview show, myself and the wise old owl Craig. We're going to be on previewing the Man United game with special guest Maisie from Devils United TV. And then we'll finish our show and then nip on over to her show at 8:30. Devils United TV on YouTube. Check it out. And I'll be on there doing the same preview again. I just sort of record myself and do it twice. So, it's only Man United this weekend, guys. Let's not worry. But we've got a quick look down. We've got Liverpool. We have indeed. Going for going to beat Watford. We all agreed on that one, at least. Villa thinks, Doug thinks they'll beat Wolves. The rest of us have gone for a draw. Man United to beat Leicester. Thanks, Doug. Yeah, me and Brad. Yeah, well, we've got to support the Foxes, haven't we? Man City are going to stuff Burnley. Sorry, Dan. Brighton and Hove. The sensible ones amongst us have gone for Brighton and Hove. The North Macedonia fan has gone for a Norwich win. As he indeed went for a Southampton win against Leeds. The rest of us have gone for a draw. Brentford, Chelsea, but yeah, enough. Well, that's like Norwich Part 2, isn't it? Split down the middle. We couldn't decide Everton versus West Ham. I've gone for an Everton win. Brad's gone for the draw, and Doug's gone for a West Ham. Newcastle, a couple of them think they'll beat Tottenham. I think Tottenham might just hold on, and I think it's going to be a case of party poopers there. And then the draw for Brad and Doug for Arsenal, but I'm up there, and I don't think I'm being totally silly with Palace getting the win. Thanks very much for joining us. Hope you're all right. Hope you have a good weekend. We shall see you post-match. Don't forget, give us 10 minutes. This will be up as a podcast on all the major podcast platforms. Watch the jingle as we play out, because it does tell us where you can watch us. If you've not watched us on YouTube, please get over there and give us a like and a subscribe. Stay safe, guys. Take care. Thanks for joining in. Thanks to everybody for your predictions and your comments. Good luck this weekend, whoever your team is playing. And like I say, I'll see you tomorrow night at 7. Good night.
That's all, folks.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all them social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.